Hey, what's up guys, welcome back, and in this video we will talk about GSoC 2020. So GSoC 2020 is happening, and a lot of people asked me that what is GSoC, how to get a how to participate in GSoC, and specifically because Dart is introduced for the first time as an organization. So there are some problem statements or project ideas which I will talk about later in this video, and I'll try to help you that what they actually want you to build. And then we'll also talk about what are the benefits which you get from GSoC and a lot of other stuff. So let's start with what is GSoC. So GSoC is basically Google Summer of Code. It is a program run by Google every year, and I think more than 15,000 students have already enrolled in this program during these years. And personally, I never been a part of GSoC because I got to know about it like a couple of years ago. It's a really nice program because so what actually happens, let me just give you an idea. So Google Summer of Code is something like because as you can see from the name that it happens during the summer time and you have to write code. So that's the concept, and everything is being sponsored by Google, so that's why Google Summer of Code. So there are Google actually it's open for two categories. One is organization and second is students. So organizations, like there can be some mentor organization who will also apply for this Google Summer of Code, and they will say to Google that this is the open source project we are working on and we need help from good students like you if you want to participate. So Google tries to help them as well, and also they try to give exposure to the students. So this program is open for both of them. So usually the organizations applies during February, or it already has happened, and now this is open for students and the deadline is 31st March. So the organizations, they are really good at organization. I'll name a couple of them, there is Fedora, Elastic, and you can say Python is there, Django is there, Fmpeg is there, Arduino is there, so Eclipse. So a lot of organization which you might be familiar about. And then they all of them have some project ideas which they want you to work on those ideas. So that's the concept. And these mentor organizations are also selected by Google, and then you will also send a proposal. If you will be selected, then you can work with those organizations and you can build that product. So how they select based on what you have done in the past, if you have done any contribution to open source. If not, then what you provide as a sample for the proposal. So that's how they actually choose who can be a part of this GSoC. Then what are the benefits? Let's talk about that. The first benefit, which I personally feel, is that you will work on real world projects. You will get to see that how to deal with real world environment, how how professional developer works and what kind of pattern they follow. So all of these things, because you will be having good mentors who are themselves professional developers, and then you will see the project which might be used by millions of people. So that's first benefit which you will get. Second is that everything will be sponsored by Google. So I don't know, this year there is this coronavirus threat. So coronavirus threat, if that would be for next few months, then obviously I think physical presence will be difficult, but virtually whatever help you would be needed, Google will do that. And even if let's say you have to go to that particular place or country for this project, then also everything will be sponsored by Google. So that's another amazing thing. Third benefit is that usually what I have heard is that they also give you stipend. So stipend is also very nice as compared to if you're in India, then obviously it's very good as compared to few companies which give you that much stipend for the entire year. So Google pays you that stipend. It's around I think 1,50,000 or something. I mean, it can be more than that, depends on the dollar prices. So yes, that's again there, like, you know, that's really a good thing, because you are getting paid, or you are going to work with amazing developers, you are also getting sponsored. So these are the major three benefits which I see. Then fourth, there is like one more benefit which I would want to say. So the fourth benefit which I see from this Google Summer of Code is that as a developer, you will learn a lot. I mean, it's not just about you know, getting benefits, but you will get exposure, like, you know, people will know you, and you will be like, you know, contributing those projects which you can help like for yourself as well. And the like biggest benefit is that Google will also maybe give you chance to give interview in Google, as well as you can apply for internships directly. So those are the things which definitely helps you as a student, as a developer. So yeah, that let's talk about the deadline. So it's 31st March and 11:30 p.m. if you are in India. So please make sure that you submit it before it, not in last minute. So yes, that's something which is very important. And the student selection will be done between 31st March to 27th April. So that's something which you should be aware about. And then let's talk about Dart. So Dart is a language, if you don't know. So Dart is in existence from like many years, like 2012 or something. And basically you must have seen that people are building apps in Flutter. So the language they use is Dart. So if you are already interested in Flutter, then definitely this particular project idea, or these project ideas which they have actually proposed can be really helpful for you to learn Flutter as well, and to contribute to Flutter or Dart. So let's talk about those project ideas and how the Dart team is going to select them. So there are I think 6 mentors which I can see here, and they all are from Google, of course, because it's a Google project itself. So Dart is a language made by Google. And let me just tell you what are the chances of people getting selected to this project. Like, there will be a very few, you know, limited seats, you can say. And I think based on your experience with Flutter, like if you have already created Flutter applications, or if you have already like having existing packages on pub.dev, or if you will create a package, then you will be having higher chances to get selected. That's what I can say. So if you, like, you know, try to build something that what they actually want you to give them in proposal as a code sample. So they first thing is they want a Dart program which uses FFI, okay, so that you can, you know, bind C API. So that's something which you can do. Then you can also give, like I said, Flutter demo application which you have created. Then if you have already worked on Dart packages, then you can provide that. So if it is saying that if you can provide something which can, like a library which can parse something simple, that also a good option. Then you can also give them a program that can print the size and file name of the first file in a ustar tar archive. Okay, so that's something, I don't know what is a ustar tar archive. I don't really know, so you have to take a look there. I haven't worked with ustar tar archive. And then you can give small demo of these ideas which they have stated. So we'll talk about those ideas. So first idea is additional file formats for Intel translation. So this is a library, INTL, internationalization translation, where you can, like, you know, where you can give a particular file where you will have all the strings, and it will convert it to all the languages. So as you can see, this is this supports ARB format, okay, for reading and writing the text, but they want to support additional formats like it's written here that xlif is one of the choices which is there, and then there can be other choices. So yes, so what is the getting started part is that you have to use this library internationalization to produce a simple program that can translate any kind of text. So that is done using ARB format as of now, but you have to try different format, and that's what I can understand from here. So you can take the look at ARB message format and xlif, okay, documentation. And then what it is saying that for the proposal, what actually you have to include is reference to the documentation for the formats that what you want to support, right? And then an example of a complex message. Let's say there is a particular text, a long complex text, so what is like existing format which is available and the other format which you are actually giving, and discussion of any changes that would need to be made. Okay, if you want that there should be any changes to the existing package itself, like this translation package, then you can discuss about that, right? And how you will like follow the workflow to do the translation, so that's also a part of it. Then the second idea is FFI bindings generation from header files. So what they mean is that if there is a header file which is .h file, then you have to write a program which can generate the FFI bindings. So I'll provide you the link of this particular project ideas GitHub link. So they have already given you the issue link which you can see. So that's something which this particular idea talks about. Then there another idea is Fluttered testing sample app. Basically what they want is that like they want a repository where it's like testing is shown there, like they are not like officially they are not supporting any kind of good repository where there are testing happening, like unit tests are there, widget tests are there, integration tests are there. So they want you to create a repository which can help other developers to learn testing using that particular repository. That's what I understand from this. So it will create an application which will have unit, widget and integration tests. Okay, for the proposal they want you to create this particular sample in Dartpad, and then they want you to identify what problem you faced and how you solved it. So you can provide that in that sample, like demo of rows and columns, that how you learned flex layouts using rows and columns, like what was the way you learned it. And then maybe you can provide a Dart sample showing stream controller. So yes, these are the things which you can you can use. Then the third one is kind of advanced but really nice, platform channel sample app. So there is no sample app, like there is no sample app for testing. So similarly there is no sample app for platform channel. So what is platform channel? When your Flutter app wants to talk to native Android or native iOS, then you can use platform channels to to talk to the operating system, I should say. So basically what you have to do is that you have to create a sample repo where you will use platform channels to where you will use platform channel to perform anything. I don't know what kind of sample repo you will create, but it should cover these event channels, method channels, and how to move structured data. And so this is something which they have stated here. So yes, basically it's more like you have to code in Kotlin as well as in Swift, and then you have to show them that how you can use these Flutter with these languages, like how you will make that interface which will be like conveying one thing from Flutter to another operating system. Let's say for Android, if you want to talk to native code which is in Kotlin, then how you will do that. Similarly, how you will talk to Swift if you are like dealing with iOS. So let's say there is an SDK, right, which is available, which is just for iOS. So you have to write some code in iOS, and similarly that SDK is available for Android but not for Flutter. So the Android and iOS SDK is available, so you have to use it in your project and then you have to expose it for Flutter. So that's something which you can like get it from here. Then there is something called, the next idea is that they want you to generate a program which can like modify YAML files. So YAML file is there, let's say they want someone to like write anything in console, let's say packages or pub add and the package name, and it should be added to your pubspec.yaml without messing with the comments. So that's what they highlight here in this particular challenge. So yes, you can read about it. Then there is again tar stream reader package. They basically want to read the tar archives. Okay, so they and how they want to read it in terms of stream of objects. So they say that this is similar to Golang API, and yeah, that's more or less the idea. And then there is something called SPDX license detecting package. I really don't know what is SPDX, so I'm really sorry I cannot talk about it. So basically it's kind of a license file, and there is some guidelines which you need to follow. So I have to like study about it. I myself don't know what is SPDX. Then there is Flutter background execution example. So basically what it is, it's basically that there is no example which shows how to do background execution in Flutter. They found that few people asked them on GitHub that, you know, why don't you make an example of a media player which runs in the background and using some kind of background execution in Flutter. So they want you to build a media player application, a sample media player application, which will run in the background using some kind of background execution. Maybe you can use some background library, or maybe you can go native. You can use platform channels again to, you know, create a service, let's say in Android, and then do the background stuff there. So that's what they want in this particular task. And yeah, that's it, I guess. These are the more or less the ideas. And I think yes, so they are actually saying that you have to utilize method channels here to invoke those functionality which do, you know, background execution. So yes, you have to like create a service and all that stuff. So yep, that's the idea. So these are all the ideas. I hope you got to know like what they want to achieve and what you can propose. So that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then press the like button, subscribe to the channel, also share with anyone who wants to apply for this you know, Google Summer of Code, especially for Dart projects. So I think I could help you a little bit for this. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.